SASSA and Postbank are urging social grant beneficiaries to replace their gold cards with the new Postbank black cards before the end of this month. This is to avoid failing to access their monthly grant payments after the deadline. Let's check in with Nikki Mbengashe. She's the Postbank CEO and she joins us live this afternoon. Nikki, thanks very much indeed for your time and your patience. I want to begin with the question of why we need to make this change from the gold card to the new black card. It sounds like an administrative nightmare. Is it necessary?
Absolutely necessary. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for having me, and good afternoon to your listeners. It's absolutely necessary because it's a normal process that every bank does. I think all of us, you, myself included, have had to upgrade our card, whether it's been 5 years, after 5 years or 8 years. This is to ensure that the card is still compliant, it's still safe, it's still operating well, because as we know, every card, the systems within actually needs to be upgraded in the software. And I think for us, even more, this is our last condition to the variation notice that we have from SAP, so we're also closing that. So it's quite an exciting time for us.
So the cards have a lifespan of 5 years. Might there be people who don't have to change to the black cards, or is it a blanket, we all need to be on the Postbank black card?
Well, this time around, everyone has to replace their card. As I said, that it's a link of the fact that there is that card expiry, which could be 5 years, as you say, to 8 years to 10 years, some banks, depending when they choose to. But for us, it is a combination of the two things. There is that the card has expired. We do have a waiver from Visa to extend that expiry, which we have used. So there is that expiry that we have to take care of. But there's also the variation notice from the SAP that we're taking care of, that we do need to take the yellow card out of the payment system completely, and therefore it's hitting two birds with one stone in this instance.
I understand hundreds of thousands of beneficiaries have already picked up, they've collected their new black cards. The deadline to collect the card is by the 28th of February, which is when the gold card will stop working, right? But you can still pick up your card after that deadline.
Absolutely. You can still pick up your card after that deadline. We have over 200 sites nationally that we've put for people to go and access their cards. We are extending those sites every day just to make it even more convenient for people. But absolutely, post the 28th of February, everyone can still go and exchange their card for the black card. It is it's quite important.
Yeah. So talk us through the process of getting the black card, Nikki. If I've got the gold card now, what are my next steps?
It's very easy. You just need to bring your South African ID to any one of the partner stores and retailers that we're working with. We're working with Checkers, Shoprite, Pick n Pay, USave, and Boxer. So any one of those, and there are specific ones, because it's not all of them. We strategically chose those ones where we believe they're closer to the customer, where the majority of the customer is at. So you just need to find out where's your nearest one, and then bring your South African ID. And when you go there, you produce your ID, and then you also have to do a fingerprint verification that will link to the Department of Home Affairs, because we want to ensure that we're giving the card to the right person. And within less than 10 minutes, you should have your card. So it really is an easy process, and therefore people shouldn't fear that it should take a lot of time out of their busy days to actually exchange.
My concern would be around people who have trouble getting around, differently abled people, the elderly. I mean, has any kind of plan being made for that part of the beneficiary population?
We do. We do have processes where we actually do give mobile access in terms of going to where the customer is at. We're working very closely with SASSA, as they would do. In fact, even when people have to get paid, that's the process that's been in place, where even SASSA will go and open your account at your house. That's something that's available. That's something, by the way, I think with our population, that's not too big, so it hasn't been a big number. We've been very lucky. Again, because I always create this context, because I think people think sometimes everyone who gets a grant from SASSA banks with Postbank. You know, we only manage about 30% of the total, I think just over 12 million population. So we do have a process to actually access, but also beneficiaries do have the ability to send someone as a proxy to go and collect the card from them. There is requirements in order for someone to qualify, but normally the person that they will send to go and collect the card has been someone that has actually been collecting their grant as well, and therefore there is a letter that we do with SASSA as well to ensure that again we're giving it to the correct person. So those are absolutely available for every customer who can't come to the site. We are.
Well, thanks very much for that clarity. Nikki Mbengashe is the Postbank CEO, urging you to replace your SASSA Gold card with the new Postbank Black card. You can do so until in fact, the deadline, this is when your Gold card will stop working, is on the 28th of February, but you can collect your card even after that date.